the teaching on the golden calf will let you know that they just wasn't partying at the foot of the mount, but it was like an orgy too. It was like a rave. It was like, it's like the clubs today. Back in the days, they used to have clubs like Paradise Garage up in Manhattan, Satan-loving Manhattan. And, ones would go to dance, that's how they get you. They get you with the music, you get entranced to the music. The music, music it's like fire. Music is like fire. It can burn up, can burn down something or can warm up something, as it were, or prepare something, so fire depends on the use of fire. Anyway, a lot of these clubs, think about the name, a club. Like, what's a club used for? Right? To beat you, bang you over the head, with this sound, this vibration, and these subliminal tones and suggestions. Now, in ancient times, they used to do the same thing. Now, I know you're seeing a condom on the screen, and you're like, what does that do for condom? Well, I came across this on the way to preparing for the 21st Torah portion, reading and feeding. Ki tissa bequatrahacho gize, and this is the fulfillment of the tabernacle, at least of the instructions that Moses received for the tabernacle, right? In the last 7 or so chapters, within 7 chapters. And now we're coming to the broken law. I know, it's kind of hard to resist this, but like broken law, like the condom broke in a sense, you know what I mean? Now, if you say, well, what's the connection with this? Because now while Moses is up in the mountain receiving these gracious instructions based on the people coming into covenant, the leader is away for a while and the people, they don't know what become of him. So they have to make themselves feel good. And so they have their first community project, right? And that was the golden calf. But the point of this video right here is about porkless porking. What? Well, porking, some of y'all act like, oh, I don't know what that's about. Yeah, okay. Maybe you don't. Maybe there's a few that don't. But, like pork. What was that? That was some movie years ago. Anyway, the pork in the Western Gentile culture is a euphemism for, having sex. Right. Now, this is interesting right here. There's this full documentary on human trafficking, 21st century sex slaves and human trafficking. So on our way to getting some graphics here for this Torah portion, reading and feeding, we came across these 2 graphics here. And I thought this one in particular was interesting in the connection, as you can see, where it's on the same, clip right there. And then you can see right here, this is the reality, right? This is the reality behind factory farming. Buy a burger, kill a child. Now that's on Activism LBC blog. I haven't looked into that, but it's about the water, the grain, and the land that goes to support the animal agricultural industry is an ecological, human, and non-human animal disaster the world over. But now, how does that connect with 21st century sex slaves? Well, you did it to the animals, right? You was inhuman to the 4-footed ones. You're going to be inhuman to the 2-footed ones. Now, let's go to this right here. Porkless porking and vegan condoms. Yeah, you see it right there. Porkless porking and vegan condoms. I didn't even get into this particular site as of yet, but knowing what we know about what they do with what they do, with the animals and the things that we consume as so-called consumers, like a fire, it consumes something and burn it up. And people are being burned up in their animal desires. And they testified to this when they called their children kids. A kid is a so-called baby goat. And a goat, euphemistically, and a goat is, compared to a sheep, is a stubborn animal. So you tell people, but still people are stubborn. Knowing what they know, they continue to do what they do. Now they also call sexual activity, having sex, right? See, they lied to themselves, like making love. Making love. You can make love? How do you make? If that's how you're making love, no wonder the world is all effed up. It's all sinned up. It's fornication under the crown of the King of Kings, of the heavenly King. So we call sex, y'all call sex porking, right? But you're vegan. Now, the condoms, actually, many of them, the majority of them, unless you go for the vegan condoms. But where do they sell the vegan condoms? Well, you know what? Look this up and you can check out more if you really, if you're into that sort of thing. But it's just kind of interesting that the condoms being made out of pork. And then people say, well, no wonder, because they say, talk about porking, or they'll call it dogging. And y'all know some of these kind of names. But it's interesting that most of these names are associated with animals, right? With animal activity. So what the human being does, right, has no better articulation of word than something like pork. I'm sure a lot of folks who would not dare put a piece of pork in their mouth will put it, on their phallus, or put it within their VJ vagina. Ain't that something? Right? Now you have to think and connect the dots of the disease. Because, what about the oils they use? Whatever that little slippery stuff is on there. What is that made out of? I know the animal desires and the animal lust is too great to even really think about it. So knowing what you know and hearing what you hear, you are what you eat, you are what you fuck, you are how you fuck. I don't know what. Oh, let's do doggy style. Oh my goodness. Do you think that all that time people always called a dog? I don't know. It's just very interesting when you think about the so-called human condition. Is it really the human condition? Right? Or is it really, an animal? Is this an animal party? Like the reggae song Animal Party. Anyway, condoms made out of pork, and vegan condoms. Who knew? Just a word to the wise, some food for thought right here. Something to make you go, but hopefully something to also help you, come out of this confusion, right? All right. This is wild. This is a wild, and y'all think it's not, some people think this is not a world of sin. This is not a fucked up world. Isn't this a fucked up world? And when I say that, people, I'm saying it's a world of sin. That's what sin is. Sin is fuckery, fornication under the crown of the King, right? Fornication under the crown of the King of Kings, right? Fornication under heaven, right? Fornication on the face of this planet Earth, right? And you can see the connections right here, right? Ass worship. What does that have to do with the golden calf? We'll see, right? And that